All right, it's a 2021 NFL season. It's getting underway. It's been a little weird, but I am your host, Alex Dominguez, my co-host, my longtime life partner, who holds me ever so gently and tenderly, Steve Josefson. Woo! And our guest today is comedian, playwright, college professor, Mr. Dave Hanson.
Hello.
What's up, Dave?
What's up, guys? Good to see your faces.
Award-winning playwright.
That's right. Award-winning, internationally produced. If we're going the full gamut, published.
Mystery.
I should have emailed that bio.
Dave is coming to us all the way through the magic of television from New York City. How's it going over there, bud?
It's good. It's good, man. The weather's getting nice again instead of sweltering heat. It's getting a nice little cool New York fall weather, which is nice. Starting to slip into it.
Is it sweater weather?
Sweater weather. Put your sweater on before you leave the house, David.
Put your sweatshirts and your sweaters.
Well, if you've never joined us before, we are Stand-Up Fantasy Football. It's a daily sports betting show made by comedians such as myself, Dave Hanson, and
Kinda.
Yeah.
Kinda.
All right, not everybody's a winner. Hey, guys, so this year's season's a little different from past years. We haven't had a preseason or an off-season of any
Why would that be any different, Alex? How is this season different?
I don't know what to expect. I'm so confused going into this season.
I was just telling Dave, I was just asking Dave this pre-show, what is his Seahawks going to be any good?
I mean, all things being equal, sure. I think they made some great moves in the offseason. Ended up being a good draft. Again, John Schneider completely overlooked for all of his magic that he does when he drafts. They're as always, the Seahawks, at least from a Northwesterner's perspective, we're always a little underrated, under the radar.
But you're always
I think they're fine. Here's the thing with this entire season. Normally this time of year, right, I've spent the last month and a half checking in on everything about the preseason, about camp, about everything.
And it's been what teams look like.
Oh, it's on like focusing on my team, but like look at the whole league. Not this year because I don't have any. There's no census. I wasn't even sure there was going to be a season. Like I was like, there's no way they're pulling this off.
Now let me ask you something because I know I'm a Dolphins fan, as everyone knows. There was very little information given out this year. I don't know if it was a Brian Flores thing or if it's all teams are just kind of like keeping their team in their wraps.
Well, like like in Seattle, right, and I think this is true for all teams, right? There's a whole part of the camp where the crowd comes and watches and the fans are there and there's a lot of media, but that's not allowed this year.
Right.
They were trying so hard to keep everything for the virus, keep everybody safe for the virus. There just wasn't that much interaction between fan, media, and the team. So, yeah, I think every team's kind of shrouded in mystery, especially with no preseason games, means everybody's kind of untested. Like, I think this first 2 weeks of the NFL is going to be so sloppy and gross. It's going to be basic schemes, and, like, defenses are going to win.
Yeah.
But I think defenses have an advantage because they're constantly reacting to what the offense is presenting them.
Right. There's a lot less timing involved.
Forced to present are still growing into themselves, which they normally are anyway, but especially this year, defenses are going to be able to chomp at the bit a little bit more.
Which also brings me to the strategy for this year, like especially the first couple of weeks. I'm looking at teams when I'm going through my lineups. I'm looking at teams that have been together. You know that's like a Tampa Bay with Tom Brady and those guys. Those guys might take a couple more weeks to kind of coalesce.
Yeah,
right. But like someone like Seattle, who you had Russell and you have Lockett and you have those guys that have been together.
Very many new pieces.
Right, or you have Kansas City.
Right, I'd say that with Seattle in particular, the new pieces are worked in with old pieces really well. Right, they're like if you're a new guy, like we have a new linebacker, but he's on a linebacking core that's got all-stars on it. So it's pretty. I don't know. I think we're okay. The other thing I would point at that is not only going to be teams that didn't move over a lot of new pieces that guys have played together. I think those quarterbacks that are improvisers on the field are going to do real well.
So you think like a Lamar Thomas would do really well?
Right,
not Lamar Thomas. I'm sorry.
Lamar Jackson.
Thank you.
Mahomes, Wilson, probably Drew Brees as well. Those guys that are on the run throws,
John Watson
breakdown can make things happen. And I think guys like Goff in LA, the robot quarterbacks are going to have a harder time because they're going to be, they don't have that set.
We'll see. I think that there's gonna be a lot more freedom in general. I think this year, period, just because of the unknown. Because like it's right now it's one big question mark for everybody. You know what I mean? We're in an uncharted territory here, and that first team that comes down with the case, like the Miami Marlins did in baseball, where they had 15 of their guys go down. I think it's going to be the team that is the healthiest, the smartest, and the safest. They're the ones that are going to win. Period.
Here's what's going to happen. The team that gets hit early with the coronavirus, that loses, like half their starters for 2 weeks or whatever, they're going to be the physically healthier team at the end of the year.
Well, that's kind of what you were seeing with Miami Marlins right now. Actually, they're doing really well. Yeah.
I feel like this is going to force everybody to rest their bodies for the sake of the coronavirus in a quarantine, which means they're not going to be as banged up when we get to the playoffs. So that could be a little different.
Sure, but now you look at the NBA. The NBA's been going on for over a month now, a couple months now. They haven't really had an outbreak in the bubble.
The bubble thing. And there's like NBA squads, that sport is different. It's not a collision sport. It doesn't have these massive teams. Like there's 53 players plus practice squad plus coaching staff plus fitness staff plus kitchen staff. Like these like NFL teams are like armies on the move. So like there's so much opportunity for that virus to get in with those guys.
You are not going to have Aaron Donald just sitting his big fat face on Russell Wilson, with all the slobber and say, "I got you, sucker," and that.
No, because it's gonna be a penalty this year. If you spit on somebody, if any spittle gets anybody, it's gonna be a flag.
And so just another example of how the NFL is just becoming wussies. No more spitting. What the hell?
Yeah.
First you can't hit him. Now you can't spit on him.
All right, go to players. Let's move on with the show. Let's look at the players for this week. We have some interesting matchups this Sunday.
We're $1 million this week, Alex. It's a $5 tournament over here on our sponsor site, DraftKings. On that site, it's $5 to enter. It's $1 million to first place, right? We're gonna win it. We're gonna win it on this show.
Do this show, and this is the least prepared I've ever been for any of these. So it's always going to be good for you at home to like do a couple lineups, do a couple $3 lineups, do like 4 or 5, and hedge your bets.
This year, especially week one, it's a big question mark. Period. Like we've just been saying, you can go in so many different directions. It really just put your flag down. You're a Seattle Seahawks fan, like go with all Seahawks. You're a Miami Dolphins fan, go with all Miami.
I was gonna say go with another team,
or go with the other team. Yeah, but you know what? Listen, you guys are playing New England. Okay, let's talk about that for a second. The Dolphins are playing New England, and the Dolphins in recent years have played New England really well.
Yeah.
Really, really well. Now you've got Cam Newton at the helm of New England. What the F is gonna happen over there? Like.
I don't.
Tell me about this game, Alex. This is your game.
Here's the thing. I like, for the price, Fitzpatrick is not a bad pick. I'll be honest with you.
Oh.
They seem to have New England's number. New England's has like a whole new team, basically. Their defense is still good. Let's not get it twisted.
This is the year to beat New England.
He was Fitzmagic the first couple games of the season last year.
He struggled last year. It was a year before that. He was, I think, in Tampa. But he has been reunited with Chan Gailey.
Yeah.
Devontae Parker's coming off a big season. Gesicki's coming off another big picky. They got Preston Williams back.
You got Breida the Cheetah.
You got Breida, you got two great running backs in Breida and in Jordan Howard. So they could be a pretty decent team, especially against. So yeah, $5,300 Fitzpatrick. If you're looking for that value quarterback, he has chemistry with his receivers.
Hail Mary, baby.
He has chemistry with his receiver. He has chemistry with his coach, and he's a born leader. So yeah, and especially starting off early in the season. I know he's a little older, but starting off early in the season, he tends to do really well. I'm gonna go ahead and pick him.
We're in a contest with over 1 million entries in it.
Yeah,
like 1,195,000 entries. So it's like you go wherever. That's a great tournament pick, I think. I haven't projected for 14.21 fantasy points. And who knows, right? Like,
I have him for 17.9.
there you go. Yeah, 3 points higher, and then like the highest priced quarterback on this slate is Lamar Jackson at 8,100. That's almost a $3,000 difference right there that you can use on a one Christian McCaffrey maybe, right, at running back.
Really, well, let's talk before we go to running backs. Dave, what do you like
as a QB? Wait, now it depends on. Are we picking QBs for? Are you going for like a top tier quarterback? Or are you just looking for one to get you through the week? That's
whoever
whoever
you think is going to score the best, the most.
I'm picking Russell Wilson.
Yeah,
I don't know what's happening. I have a lot of Seahawks on my picks mainly because I don't know what's really going on with the league, and so I'm going on what I know from last year. And Russell Wilson's everybody's talking about him having a great year, so great. He's going to be up there top 5 quarterback for sure. So I'm going with a guy I know that can handle whatever weird defense or whatever breakdown the offense has because they haven't played any games yet. And that to me is a guy like Mahomes or Wilson. So I'm going with Russell.
He's always going to be solid. He's always going to be solid.
He's going up against –
rarely turns the ball over, right?
He's going up against Atlanta Falcons. They're playing in a dome, so they're playing on artificial turf, which they're used to. And they're faster.
Fast turf and no elements to deal with.
DK Metcalf is back. Tyler Lockett's back. Dorsett's back.
Yeah.
So he has a chemistry with it. So yeah, I could see definitely Russell Wilson having a good game against.
They gave Russell a lot of williams, and if the NFL reinstates Josh Gordon, that's another spot.
They did.
Our receiving core is well. He signed with the Seahawks. I don't know if the NFL has officially brought him back in yet, but look it up because I didn't see any news headlines if they had.
It looks like he's out for week 1.
Yeah.
Okay, so he is. Coach Pete Carroll can't comment on when he will be reinstated.
Right.
So there you go. I thought he was reinstated.
No, I think they gave the general okay, but they haven't figured out what his punishment or whatever is going to be for this season. So
man, how many chances is that guy going to get?
Well, when you think about I've heard a breakdown. I heard Pat McAfee talk about that. We could jump on that real quick. That it's marijuana. That's what he got busted for.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Which is the NFL this year has finally said it's still not a substance allowed, but we're no longer going to ban you from games if you get caught with it in your system. We're going to fine you, but it's no longer going to be like if you get popped for PED.
Why would they let these guys drink alcohol then, though?
That's the whole argument is like.
Yeah.
And the thing with I think Josh Gordon is getting a little bit of a slide on this because he has had a lot of chances. This happened, I think, at his brother's funeral. Oh, and I don't know if that was being reintroduced to people that are a bad influence on that guy, or this was a coping thing for him. And it's like on either case, I kind of go, let's let this one slide. That sounds like a really bad situation that anybody would mess up.
Well, so. I thought the new collective bargaining agreement took marijuana off the banned substance. It's legal in like half the states.
It just doesn't make – and, like, if you're making these guys take all kinds of pharmaceutical painkiller type things, like, come on.
Right. I mean, you're asking these guys to basically beat their heads in for 60 minutes every week.
Let them
have some weed. Look, I'm not a weed smoker, but, hey, if that's what they want to do, go for it. It's harmless.
Yeah. So Josh Gordon, I think, is going to come back in. I think that's another weapon that Russell's going to have for the season, maybe not for week 1. Russell's got a lot of toys. He asked for toys. They gave him toys. I like the numbers he's potentially going to put up.
And like you were saying, they're going to have that cohesiveness because the team hasn't really changed that much. It's my homer pick, and it's Jimmy G.
Oh, there you go.
And
really?
Really?
Against Arizona, ballsy. Yeah. But they're at home.
Let me ask you, what do you like about Jimmy G? Because I think you guys got ripped off. I think you should have gone with that rookie that played the year he got hurt and developed that guy.
He's so handsome. He's just so
He's dynamite to look at. No one's arguing about the trolls on every other team.
Listen, he led us to a Super Bowl berth.
Did he? Did he lead you? Did he?
Yes. Didn't Colin Kaepernick do the same thing?
I would argue that your defense led you guys to.
Jimmy G isn't taking a knee. Jimmy G ain't taking. I mean, whatever. And that's not the reason why Kaepernick left the team anyway. I'm playing the narrative. I'm playing. It's a homer pick, and I'm probably going to make 50 million lineups. but for purposes of this show, Jimmy G is my guy because
he's handsome. He's handsome.
We got Brandon Ayuk, and we'll talk to him when we get to wide receiver. But Ayuk, I mean, come on, man. How can you not have a team when I can scream Ayuk every single time he catches a pass? But I mean, realistically, for the price, I have him projected at 18 fantasy points. He's only 5,800. That's really what turned me on. Other than that, it's a homer pick for me. But it's cheap price. It's like 2,000 less than Russell Wilson, who I really like as well. But again, it gives me the ability to pay up at a bunch of different spots. Continue.
Right. And also the Cardinals defense
ain't that good.
It's not that great. Good. It's okay.
Hopefully.
All right, moving on to running backs.
Running backs.
I think like the highest rated running back I see is Christian McCaffrey, and I think that's going to be that's the trap pick this week.
You think it's a trap pick? Why?
I've heard the same thing.
Well, because they have Teddy Bridgewater starting. Remember, he doesn't have a Superman starting anymore. So he's got Teddy Bridgewater. So if I'm a team, I'm going to stack that box and dare Teddy Bridgewater to beat us.
Here's what I'm saying. I think they're going to stack that box, and I think McCaffrey still runs through them. I think he's that good.
Really? Okay.
I mean, who are they playing? Carolina versus
the Raiders.
Okay. Again, new quarterback, new system. I think offensive teams are going to run the ball unless they have one of those running improv quarterbacks. So I think you're going to see all running backs especially starters, get a lot of yards.
But if you're a defense, does Teddy Bridgewater strike any fear in you?
No, not at all.
I don't know. Here's what I think. This is why I think defenses are going to be important to pick this week, because I think every team is going to be running something kind of basic in packages on offense. Because they haven't had collision yet. They haven't had offensive linemen hitting each other in practice.
They have, but they've been playing against themselves. They've been playing, they've been scrimmaging against their own defenses, and
you're going to get a bunch of linemen who would love to go and smack somebody downfield. I think Carolina's going to run it.
But again,
Bridgewater at all.
Not only do you have Bridgewater, but the receivers core is DJ Moore, Robbie Anderson, Curtis Samuels, and Seth Roberts.
Robbie Anderson had some huge games when he was in New York, though.
He had very few huge games in New York.
He had a handful of them, though.
He had a handful.
And DJ Moore, I think, is a legit number one. He had a breakout year last year, but again, can Teddy Bridgewater get him the ball?
Right.
I feel the same way about the Chargers, too.
Especially being a new quarterback in a season with no preseason and no real scrimmages with the other team. Yeah. I'm not crazy about Christian McCaffrey in this particular game. Who do you guys have?
No, man, I'll tell you. Well,
I went with Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I know you do.
Okay, but no, that's fine because it's run CMC. He could be matchup proof. I think he had maybe one. I don't think he had any down games at all last season. He had one where he scored, and this was week 2, where he scored 7.3 fantasy points. Everything else was just insane numbers through week 17. So
I get Alex's point though about was Christian McCaffrey effective because so much of the defense had to pay attention to Cam Newton potentially running as well, and Cam Newton's was he a 7-foot giant human who can just basically makes 10 yards on what takes one step. So that's a fair argument. He could be right on that, but I just think McCaffrey's numbers are so good that I don't know. That's who I would go with.
On the flip side of that, you know who I would go with? I would go with Josh Jacobs from Vegas.
I have Jacobs.
I like Jacobs and Derek. You got Derek Carr and Jacobs. It's a good combination, and they have also an offense that's already been together since last year.
I don't buy Las Vegas. It's just I don't think any of those guys don't show up to the game high from the strip club the night before. I think that's
very interesting. That is very, very interesting. Yeah, I thought about that too.
That
clubs.
Can you imagine being a 20-something super athlete with millions of dollars, and then somebody going, "You're going to live in Las Vegas"?
Well, you could say the same thing about Miami.
Miami's got a team. Miami's a party city. Yeah, how they've been doing?
Fair enough. Hey, by the way, the Heat are in the Eastern Conference Finals for the NBA.
Fair point. Basketball, different game though.
That was, but that is a good point. But on the flip side of that too, Dave, is that first time in this brand new city, this brand new stadium, these guys got something to prove. Like they're using that as motivation. Coronavirus is the added thing where I'll bet you these guys are going to get fined so much. They cut baseball players for lying about going out and catching, you know what I mean?
Oh, Seattle cut a rookie for bringing a chick into the hotel.
Bringing a chick in the hotel. I mean, there's no nonsense this year. So I think everybody's in it because they know. First of all, NFL players have more incentive to play just for that game check. Period. That's how they get paid. You don't play, you don't get your game check, and that's huge for a lot of these guys. Mm-hmm. So, and then somebody else is gonna step in and take your spot.
Not only that, it's the first game of the season. It's like the first day of school. Remember when you wake up extra early and you say, I'm going to do all my homework, and you come home.
Ready to go.
Everyone's ready to go. If we're talking about later on in the season where everyone's kind of slacking off, all right, maybe. But it's the first game of the season. I think people are coming prepared. And
that's true. Fair point.
I like Josh Jacobs. Also on the other side of that, I like Austin Eckler as my other running back.
Guys, Alex, you got my guys. Both of them. Those are my guys.
Great minds think alike against Cincinnati. Who's notoriously bad defense.
Notoriously bad. I mean, and not to mention, you think Tyrod Taylor's going to get Keenan Allen the ball?
No. Well, no. Tyrod, when Tyrod was in Cleveland before Baker Mayfield took over, I thought he was doing really well.
He got hurt. Yeah, he got hurt.
He did get hurt, but he was playing well. And then, of course, just the angry mob wanted Baker Mayfield.
He's a good guy too. He's just such a good guy, right?
And I thought he played well at Buffalo.
Yeah, he did play well in Buffalo. You're right. I don't know. I was, all jokes aside, I do like Tyrod Taylor because I like that team in general. I think again the Chargers have something to prove. They were shit on all last season at that soccer stadium. Then you come in and you got this brand new, gorgeous, beautiful stadium that nobody gets to go to. Alex, we got to go. We got to go to a game next year. By the way, that stadium is insane.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, no, I love Eckler this week. Love him.
Cool. Who do you got? Who's your other running back, Dave?
Chris Carson from Seattle.
Hey,
go with what I know.
Go for it.
He's an inside runner, ground and pound. He runs tough.
Seattle is a solid stack this week. Seattle's a solid stack. Yeah.
And I don't think Atlanta's that great on defense.
Nope.
They're going to have to pick and choose between a really good receiving core and a thumper like Carson. And I feel like second half, that's when that guy, after he's pounded him several times, he's going to break through and get something. So I just feel like Carson's a good – I would say this for anybody that's got one of these running quarterbacks that can improvise – that 1-2 punch of a good running back is going to be I think it's going to get numbers this first week just because nobody's going to know what they're doing.
You got DK Metcalf, opening things up, Lockett on the outside. Carson's always going to be a solid pick, period.
Yeah.
And then Will Disley over the middle, which, by the way, I think Atlanta was really, really bad against tight end. So when we get to tight end, that's another idea too.
I like Tyler Lockett at wide receiver for this game.
Yeah. Super fast. I mean, and him and Wilson have such a good connection. I mean, Wilson just drops it right into that little bucket that only that receiver can catch. And no, there's potentially a good matchup against Atlanta in this. So picking Seattle guys is probably a good move.
All right, who do you guys have at receiver?
I'll just run down all three of mine. I got Brandon Ayuk, rookie. I'm running it back on the other side with newly acquired super stud wide receiver DeAndre Hopkins.
Nice, I like it. From Arizona.
From Arizona. He just got a brand new contract, which kind of pissed me off. I was hoping they'd give it to him after the season, but he just got a record-breaking contract, I think, and I think he's got something to prove. Not to mention, I'm playing the game stack here a little bit with San Francisco and Arizona. And then for value, I got the number 2 in Green Bay, Alan Lazard. Division game against Minnesota in Minnesota. And I think Rodgers is just going to do what he can to get that man the ball. because I think they're going to be in Devontae Adams going to be in double coverage the entire game.
Nice.
That's where I'm going at wide receiver, at least for this lineup.
Dave?
All right. I've got, again, full-on homer lineup. DK Metcalf and Lockett. And I don't know what to pick for my third receiver. The way I set it up, I'm a little tight for cash for the remaining salary, but
one thing you can
do it all on McCaffrey, but
one thing you can do, Dave, is go all the way down to your defense, down at the bottom, and then I don't mean to fast forward to defense here, but maybe we're fast forwarding to defense. All the way down at the bottom at min salary, you have your own Miami Dolphins, who I would say is a solid sleeper defensive pick against the brand new look New England Patriots, who they, again, play well against all the time. So that would free up some salary if you wanted to do that. They scored in Week 17 last year, 11 fantasy points against them at $2,000 for salary. I think you can't go.
That's not bad.
That's huge. It's huge. Let me see. The second game they played them, I'm sorry, it was actually the first game they played them. They didn't do too well. It was only 3 fantasy points, but still, I don't know. That's just for me. That's just a salary pick for me. I went down to Miami, but that's something that a route you can go to free up some salary if you'd like.
All right. Yeah. I think with that, thinking for my third wide receiver, then I'll go with Alex goes. I got to make a decision on that. I'm not sure.
All right. I got receiver Tyler Lockett against Atlanta. Stephon Diggs. I like
Buffalo.
I think he's going to see a resurgence of Stephon Diggs this season. For my third receiver, I really want to take Preston Williams from the Miami Dolphins, but he's in a new system right now. Him and Fitzpatrick played well together last year. Again, I'm trying to keep my players that have had a little consistency in there. So I do like them, and for the price, it's a good pick. He did leave last year early with a knee injury, an ACL tear. But you know, it's the first week. Nobody knows anything yet.
Nobody knows anything. That's what I'm saying. You can't really go wrong. And solid arguments like what you just made, Alex, is
New England's defense is so good, though. I think New England's defense still.
That's what I was thinking about too, Alex. I was thinking that because we're in a new look offense with Cam at the helm, that Belichick's really going to buff up.
Actually, I lied. I know who I want. T.Y. Hilton. You got
Indy.
You got Indianapolis, and you got Rivers as a new quarterback. So I'm going to go T.Y. Hilton on that one.
That's not a bad – I forgot about that. Yeah, that's not a bad mix.
Rivers, I think is going to be a man on a mission too.
For $5,800. It's a great deal. Can't beat it. All right, moving on to tight end this week. I love tight ends. Tight ends are one of my favorite things to pick.
So many jokes to make about that comment. So many jokes.
We can say the same thing about wide receivers. What I love about tight ends, because if you could be a rookie quarterback, and usually they rely a lot on the tight ends, or you could be Tom Brady. He was able to bring Gronk back, so there's going to be some magic there. So tight ends are they're the outs for a lot of quarterbacks. Who do you got, Steve?
I'm sticking with the San Fran theme, and I'm going Kittle, baby.
It's hard to argue against that. That's a great choice.
Yeah,
going Kittle.
I hate having to say that, but Kittle's phenomenal. I mean, he's just great. He's great.
Yeah, it's just like I said. It's the theme of this lineup that I've made. It's again although he's projected at like 13% ownership, which is that's borderline kind of high for a contest of this magnitude. But you can't go wrong. Like, he's one of the top 3 tight ends in the league. Arguably number 1.
Yeah, I would say he's up there at number 1.
And there you go. Week
Nice.
1, everybody's excited. Home game, Levi's Stadium. Let's go.
Dave, I'm assuming you're going with
I went with Disley. Yeah. Disley's coming off injury. He's unfortunately gotten dinged both his first 2 years in the season, but when he's on the field and healthy, his output is phenomenal. If you just compare those numbers with the tight end numbers from that little sample size from when he's been healthy, He's just had 2 catastrophic leg injuries in both years. It's just been unfortunate. But when he's on the field and he's healthy and he's 100% go for this game, he's pretty good. He's just a guy who just holds on the ball, gets open, he creates havoc for the people, and he seems to be instantly Russell Wilson's safety valve.
And Atlanta is notoriously bad against tight ends.
Exactly. So I feel like if they're going to throw it, it's going to be a lot of bootlegs, a lot of outcuts by these tight end players.
So Dave, you are aware that Seattle's going to have to score like 50 to 60 points just to cover all those guys that you've just picked.
Yeah, I figure they will.
Okay.
This really is the definition of the.
I didn't go.
You're not going to spread out your picks, try to kind of like, hey, let's hedge our bets.
I learned, my parents taught me to put all my eggs in one basket.
Fair enough. My tight end is going to be, I got to go with Zach Ertz.
Yeah.
The Washington football team, their defense hasn't made really any improvements. And Zach Ertz is my guy. I like Zach Ertz. And he still has Carson Wentz. So they've been together for a couple of years now. And for $5,800, I think he's a good deal.
58. I have him at projected at 16 fantasy points, which I might have to rethink this. I hate to say that, but 16 fantasy points I have him projected at. He is like almost 2,000 cheaper than Kittle. And Kittle's projected for the exact same amount. So, do I go Kittle and was it Lazard or Ertz and Ridley? I mean, Alex, your picks, like you have some picks throughout the year where I'm like, nah, I don't really like that guy. And then all of a sudden they blow up for like 30 fantasy points.
Because I'm a genius. Thank you very much.
Well, the genius is real, man. Like, go for it.
By the way, was it Odell Beckham?
In now.
Did you guys see that Twitter where that girl comes out and says that was it Odell Beckham like to be pooped on?
Oh,
that you know what? That tracks. That makes sense. That's yes. I haven't heard that story, but I buy it. I buy it completely.
I swear to God, I think it was Odell Beckham. I saw it on Twitter. This girl went on some podcast or radio show and said that he would tell her not to take a shower for a few days because he liked her ripe. Oof. And he wanted her, and he would want videos of her pooping.
Okay.
And she was okay with that, but then he was like, all right, now I want you to poop on me. And she's like, I don't know if I can do that.
You know what? Teach his own, man. All right, we're moving on here. We just finished up tight end. We got a flex. We got a flex spot now.
I don't understand how the flex works. I made a choice, but I think it's the wrong choice.
No, the flex is basically wide receiver, running back, or tight end.
Okay.
This is PPR, so typically in the flex you might want a wide receiver, but like running backs are also solid. It really depends on how your build goes and what you're going for.
I went with receiver, but it was just like I went with Murray out of New Orleans.
Latavius.
For no reason other than that's a good pick, so I just went with it.
Latavius Murray?
Yeah.
Running back?
No, receiver. Sorry.
Murray?
Yeah, Latavius Murray. Oh, he is running back. He's listed as wide receiver for some reason on my computer. Sorry, no, Latavius Murray.
That could be. He could be huge. He could steal like a goal line or two away from Kamara. We've seen that. We saw that at the end of last season. I like that. I think that's solid. I went with Deshaun Jackson playing against the football team. When D-Jax is healthy, he's a speedster, man.
I like that pick. That's a good one.
Yeah, right? 4,900, can't go wrong. What do you got for the flex, Alex?
Jesus, flex. I'm down to my last $4,400.
Who'd you take at defense, Alex? Maybe we can work something out there.
Dolphins.
You took Miami. Okay, good.
I did take the Dolphins. It's my one homer pick. I think they always have New England's number. I think Cam Newton.
He throws interceptions. There was questioning whether or not he was actually going to be the starter.
And Miami has
He's not great. He's not great under pressure.
Nope.
Well, Miami doesn't put any pressure. That's the sad part. But they do have great cornerbacks. So I like Miami Dolphins defense. All right, I'm just gonna go ahead and let's see. Who am I gonna get? You know what? Let's go with my first my gut feeling here. Let's go with a rookie, Michael Pittman Jr.
Yeah.
Let's see if Rivers gets him the ball.
Oh, look at this! I found Tevin Coleman for another homer pick right there.
Nice.
MVS too, Alex. Marquez Valdez Scantling in Green Bay. He's 4,100. That could be interesting. Rogers was talking him up big time. In the last week, I think. But yeah, I mean, again, this week, you know what? Your pick, your gut, dude, I would trust it. At least maybe just for this week until we get a bigger picture of what we can do.
Yeah, but I mean, that one pick, it's a difference between $10 and $1 million.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, we're gonna have to have the absolute nuts. Like literally every single one of these picks is going to have to blow up in order to win this $1 million. So we're gonna have to be very lucky. Like we're not playing cash games. We're just, like you said, we're throwing darts. He's a tournament dart, baby.
Boy.
I mean, this, I like out of that group, I like Pittman. I like right below him, Chenault Jr. I like Carry On, and I like N'Keal Harry. And hey, man, Fitzy.
All right, so my flex pick is going to be Carry On Johnson from the Detroit Lions. So before we go on our recap, Dave, you did something exciting over the summer. You got to interview the Super Bowl champion quarterback, Patrick Mahomes, over the summer. How was that?
It was exciting. We social distanced, and we went out to dinner and just talked
Nice.
bro stuff.
Let's roll that clip. This is Dave Hanson interviewing Kansas City Chiefs championship quarterback, Patrick Mahomes.
Hi, y'all. Welcome to Barbecue at Kansas City Barbecue. Do you have a reservation?
Hi, I'm Patrick Mahomes. I have a reservation.
Okay, let me check the list.
Yeah, it's Patrick Mahomes. I'm the MVP. I'm an MVP. It might be under MVP. I won the Super Bowl.
Oh, I got you right here. Yep, got you right here.
Oh, cool. I wasn't sure if they told you who I'm Patrick Mahomes, the MVP.
Well, Patrick, thanks for having dinner with me, and thanks for wearing a mask.
I always wear a mask no matter what. Patrick Mahomes. I'm so afraid of everything. I'm so afraid that someone's going to cough and then just hit me with a defensive end.
Okay. Well, how's your summer going?
It's all right. I'd stay inside.
Congrats on the win.
The Niners were real hard to beat, but I did it. I'm Patrick Mahomes, and I'm the MVP, just like my mother always said I would be.
Hey, Patrick, I heard that you got ownership stake in the Kansas City Royals, that you're a minority owner of the Kansas City Royals.
That's right. I love baseball. I prefer wiffle ball, but they don't have a pro wiffle ball team here in Kansas City. So I'm Patrick Mahomes, and I own a part of the Kansas City Royals. I say to myself, Patrick, you're royalty now. Get it?
Well, I'm a fan, and your voice is much smaller than the size of your body, and it's weird.
I'm so weird. I'm so afraid. I'm so afraid of everybody.
All right, man. I'm gonna go.
Awesome, Dave. Thank you so. Wow, what a great interview. He seems.
Oh my!
It was an honor just to sit down with the man.
He seems like such a nice guy, like really down to earth.
Very humble. Very very hard to get him to order anything other than water. It's really.
That was very. You got to take care of himself. You got to drink water and drink water.
Yeah, I think he drinks it just because they bring it to you, so he doesn't have to interact with the waiter. It's hard to get him to read a menu. It's really hard.
That was fantastic, though. Thank you for sharing that interview with us. That was in our listeners and viewers and whatever we got.
Awesome. So let's go ahead and let's recap our teams before we say goodbye. It's the first week. Dude, I'm so excited. Actually, it's weird. This offseason seemed a lot shorter because I wasn't stuck watching baseball all summer long. So that's been kind of nice.
Very true.
Sorry, Steve. I know you like baseball. All right. So, hey, so Dave, you're our guest. Let's recap your team.
Sure. Quarterback, Russell Wilson. My running backs, McCaffrey and Carson. Wide receivers are Metcalf, Lockett, and Ridley. Tight end, I've got Will Dissly. My flex is Murray out of New Orleans. And then my defense is Packers. I went with the Packers for defense.
Ooh, okay.
I like their rush.
It's nice. It's
Minnesota. Division game in Minnesota.
Mm-hmm.
Solid.
Man, Minnesota really. Minnesota looks okay. Let's do it.
They lost Diggs. They lost Diggs.
Yeah, but they still have
Thielen and Dalvin.
Well, and Kirk Cousins, believe it or not, has been one of the more consistent quarterbacks over the last 3 years that I've seen in the league. That guy consistently puts up over 20 points a game. They have Dalvin Cook, who murdered it last year. And then they have Thielen.
Good pick, Dave. It's a really solid defense.
I'll go with Dave.
Thank you. Thank you. That's all I wanted to hear, guys. That's all I wanted.
All right,
Steve.
Mine. I got Garoppolo. He's so handsome. Eckler. So handsome. I got Garoppolo, Eckler, Jacobs, Ayuk, Hopkins, Lazard, Kittle, Deshaun Jackson, and our Alex's own Miami Dolphins D.
Woohoo!
Yeah.
By the way, last year's strategy was to pick all teams that played the Dolphins.
The Dolphins.
I think it's going to be a different this year. I think it's going to be different. I think they're actually going to win some games.
It's 2020. It's an ass backwards year.
And if they get a Tua involved, oh boy. All right, so my picks are, I'm going to start off, I'm going to take a risk. I'm going to go with Ryan Fitzpatrick with the first game against New England. I got Austin Eckler, Josh Jacobs, Tyler Lockett, Stephon Diggs, T.Y. Hilton, Zach Ertz, Kerryon Johnson, and the defense of the Dolphins. Those are my picks for this season, or this week, not this season. Those are my picks for this week. Hey, guys, I want to thank you, Dave.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. I love having you on the show.
Oh, man, my pleasure. I love being on it. You guys are the best.
We're going to have you back again, Dave. We love you.
Please do.
We all go way back to the days of the improv.
Days of the improv.
And we have, it's always good to see you. And I know you moved away 4,000 miles away, but it's good to see you. You look great.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, brother.
And, I appreciate our two, Alex, your Corona beard, quarantine hair growth. It's great.
This is 6 months worth of growth, by the way. I know this is like a day and a half for you.
6 days.
Yeah, day and a half.
6 days of growth.
6 months.
A week. Yeah.
Do you have anything coming up? Anything you want to pitch? I know you're working on some new writings, pitches, ideas.
Nothing really. Just plugging away on my own. Who knows what the future will hold? We're waiting to see if they'll ever let live theater happen again, or who knows? We'll see.
Looking forward to reading the new script, Dave.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, and pilots and stuff. All the best with that.
Appreciate it.
I hope you. Yeah, brother. Absolutely.
Awesome, Steve. Anything you want to plug before we go?
Go Dodgers. Go Niners.
Those.
Go Lakers.
All right, and as for me,
Draft Dodgers. Go draft Dodgers.
Yeah, my agent. I know, draft Dodgers. My agent has been sending me out randomly stuff, and I've been very pleased by that. Like, it was, yeah. So we'll see. Maybe something will happen. Maybe I can play with the big boys like you two soon. So.
Well, I have a cat video coming out on BuzzFeed pretty soon. My cat booked a video of the lead on a BuzzFeed video, which is awesome. Check that out as soon as it comes out. Mm-hmm. Also, check out my cooking show, Cooking with a Cuban Under Quarantine. You can see that on not Netflix. Yeah, it's on Netflix. On my Instagram at AlexDMack, AlexDMack. On all my social medias. Dave, shout out your social media so people can follow.
Yeah, Comic Dave Hanson on Twitter. That's usually the one I'm on the most, since I'm not much of a photograph guy.
Nice. And Steve, you want to shout out your Instagram handle?
No, I don't. I just don't.
It's Jimmy G. Love forever.
Jimmy G's handsome.
He's so handsome.com.
I was gonna say on my knees for JimmyG's.com.
But in all seriousness, I have Facebook. and I'm not a social media guy.
You know, my father, who's 80 years old,
Yeah.
is on Facebook. I hope you guys have a great chat together.
And I got a MySpace.
So you got your MySpace. LinkedIn.
Guys.
My LinkedIn account is.
You know what? Maybe I should. My goal, just for purposes of this show and for sports knowledge, is probably to get on Twitter. But I'm just like, I'm on my phone enough as it is.
All right, guys. Well, that's the end of our first episode for this season. We'll catch you next week. We publish every Friday morning at 9 a.m. Thank you, Dave. Thank you, Steve. Until next time, we are Stand Up Fantasy Sports. Good night.
Awesome. Thanks, dudes.
Yeah, buddy.
2 hours a day.